My name is Gina, and for 24 years, I gave my life to one company. I don't mean that in a dramatic way. I mean it literally. I started there when I was 26. I was newly married, still figuring out who I was, still believing that if you worked hard and kept your head down, life would reward you. And that company became my second home. Actually, sometimes it felt like my first. I missed birthdays. I left Thanksgiving dinners early. I answered emails from hospital waiting rooms. When my son had the flu in second grade, I took conference calls from the hallway so I wouldn't wake him up. When my husband asked, "Can't someone else handle it?" I always said the same thing. They need me. And they did. By year 10, I wasn't just another employee. I was the person people went to when things broke. Customs delay? Call Gina. Client screaming? Transfer to Gina. Invoice confusion? Gina will fix it. I knew every regulation, every workaround, every loophole that wasn't written down but passed along quietly from veterans to survivors. New hires sat beside me for training. I'd tell them, the system says one thing, but this is how it really works. I was proud of that. By year 20, I felt untouchable. Not because I was arrogant, because I believed I had earned security. 24 years of loyalty, 24 years of consistency, 24 years of never once being written up. 5 years from retirement. 5 years. I could see the finish line. Then she became my client. She was wealthy, the kind of wealthy that doesn't check price tags, the kind that expects the world to bend slightly in her direction. Her shipments alone were worth more than entire small companies we handled. From the very first call, I knew she would be challenging. Every email was marked urgent. Every voicemail sounded like a threat wrapped in politeness. She didn't ask questions. She interrogated. She didn't request updates. She demanded explanations. At first, I told myself, "You've handled worse." And I had. I'd worked through recessions, port strikes, policy changes, system crashes that wiped out entire weeks of records. But this was different. She didn't want solutions. She wanted control. If a shipment was delayed because of weather, my fault. If customs held paperwork, my incompetence. If tariffs changed at the federal level, somehow, still me. And yet, I stayed calm, because that's what professionals do. Then came the shipment that changed everything. It was delayed by 2 days. 2 days. Customs held it. Random inspection. Completely routine. Completely out of my hands. But I didn't sleep that night. I made calls. I pushed paperwork. I leveraged every relationship I'd built over 2 decades. And I cleared it faster than most people could have. I thought she'd appreciate that. She didn't. After that, her tone shifted, colder, sharper, like she was waiting for me to slip again. A few weeks later, tariffs increased nationwide. It hit every single client, no exceptions. I called each one personally, explained the changes, walked them through the math. Most understood. When I sat across from her and showed her the updated invoice, she stared at it, then at me. "So, what kind of discount are you giving me?" I kept my voice steady. "I can't change federal tariffs, but I can escalate your concerns internally." She smiled. Not a friendly smile, a warning. At 2 a.m., my phone rang. No good news comes at 2 a.m. It was the CEO. His voice was tight, controlled panic. She contacted HR. She says she refuses to work with you. She's threatening to pull her entire account. Then he said the sentence that hollowed me out. She wants you fired. 24 years versus one client. I was told to come in early the next morning. When I walked into the office, HR was already seated in the CEO's room. Folders on the table, careful expressions, corporate sympathy. They told me they had to put the business first. That sentence echoed louder than anything else. Put the business first. What they didn't know was that 3 days earlier, I had quietly spoken to finance. Using trust I had built over decades, I arranged for her tariff increase to be temporarily absorbed for 3 months. A creative accounting adjustment. Perfectly legal. Quiet. Her costs were already reduced. The storm was already over. But I didn't tell them. I just sat there and listened as they explained how valuable I was, how difficult this decision was, how sorry they felt. Then my boss slid a paper toward me. Severance, early retirement, 5 years' salary, paid now, healthcare extension, full benefits. It looked generous. It felt final. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. Not anger, not panic, clarity. They had already chosen. Before knowing the full story, before asking for context, before trusting the woman who had protected their reputation for 24 years, they had chosen money over loyalty. So I accepted. I signed. I shook hands. I walked out. In the parking lot, I sat in my car for 10 minutes. I expected to cry. I didn't. I just felt quiet. The next morning, the office buzzed. Finance had processed the tariff adjustment. The client was satisfied. Happy, even. She emailed praise about how quickly the company resolved the issue. That email made its way upstairs, and suddenly, they wanted me back. The CEO called again. Different tone this time. Upbeat. We may have acted too quickly. Since the issue is resolved, it makes more sense for you to stay. Stay. As if nothing happened. As if I hadn't seen behind the curtain. They even suggested withdrawing the severance, reversing the paperwork. Business as usual. Business as usual. But nothing was usual anymore. Because now I knew. I wasn't protected. I wasn't irreplaceable. I wasn't family. I was an asset. And assets get liquidated when they become inconvenient. That night, my husband asked me what I was going to do. I looked around our kitchen. The same kitchen I'd rushed through for decades. The same table where I'd answered emails during dinner. The same walls that had watched me choose work over myself again and again. And for the first time, I asked a different question. Not what's safest, but what's right. Staying meant security, predictability, 5 more years. Walking away meant uncertainty, but it also meant something else. Respect. For 24 years, I had been loyal to a company, but I had never once asked if I was loyal to myself. The next morning, I called the CEO. My voice didn't shake. I appreciate the reconsideration, I said, but I won't be returning. Silence on the other end, then surprise, then persuasion. But my decision was already made. Because here's what 24 years taught me. Loyalty isn't protection. It's currency. And the moment it stops being profitable, it's spent. But dignity, self-respect, those don't depreciate. I walked away with 5 years of salary. But more importantly, I walked away with my name intact, my experience intact, my confidence intact. And here's the lesson I want anyone listening to understand. Work hard, be ethical, be dependable, but never confuse commitment with immunity. Companies protect profit. You must protect yourself. Because if you don't, no one else will. For the first time in 24 years, I didn't choose the company. I chose me. And that decision was worth more than any retirement plan. If you were in my position, would you have fought back or would you have walked away? Tell us in the comments section. I really want to know what you think. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the real-life stories and life lessons that actually matter. Because sometimes the most important battles we fight are the ones no one sees.